Hello, student. My name is Dr. Swati Chakraborty, and today we discuss about human rights in India. Why human rights in India is now very challenging and with lots of scopes and possibilities. We are going to discuss in a very deep-rooted way, of course, that we can able to know with a very challenging aspect, that is human rights in India is an important issue and significant nowadays, that with a country's largest size and population, how it can deals with the issue of poverty, lack of proper education, and its diverse culture, even though being the world's largest sovereign secular democratic republic. The Constitution of India provides for fundamental rights which include freedom of religion. Clauses also provide for freedom of speech as well as separation of executive and judiciary and freedom of movement within the country and abroad. The country also has its independent judiciary as well as with the independent body to look after the human rights issues from the grassroots level problems and its solutions. So in India, if we can consider human rights is a very challenging task, on the same way, we can discuss about lots of opportunities are also been here because the civil societies, those particularly our NGOs, are very active and they are playing their effective roles to protect, promote human rights in any such way. Human rights means your basic rights as a human being. So, students, it's your responsibility, like whatever you feel for human rights, human need, and human duties, you need to do for the betterment of your own country. So, India's largest democratic, secular, and sovereign country can able to achieve its promising place in this world only just by the youth. Youth is a main challenging task. What you can do better for this entire society. The 2016 report of Human Rights Watch that accept the mechanical framework which has been delivered to the protections and promotions with the state that India has the serious human rights concerns. Civil society groups face harassment and government critics face intimidations and the lawsuits. Free speech has come under attack both from the state and by the interest group. Muslim and Christian minorities accuse authorities of not doing enough to protect their rights. हालांकि ये भी दिखा जा रहा है कि in India, if we are talking about the rights for the minority people, somehow it is not being granted from the bottom of the heart. And it is not being taught with the IRD, that is interreligious, intercultural dialogue sharings, where we can share each and everything about religion very freely without any kind of bondage. That space कहीं ना कहीं उस जगह की एक लैकिंग हमको नजर आते हुए महसूस होते हैं कि जब भी हम बातें शुरू करना चाहते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं ये बातें खत्म हो जाते हैं डायलॉग शुरू होने से पहले ही. In every space, we are talking about human rights, human aspects, human values. But in initial ways, like from the earliest childhood, we don't nurture. हम बच्चों को ये सिखाया नहीं जाता किस तरीके से एक दूसरे के साथ रेस्पेक्टफुली बातें करें. वहां से ही शुरू होती है ethical education and value-based education. So students, human rights cannot be enforced cannot be achieved in a very late stage. Rather, that can be started from your early childhood, early stages. So, this is the right time whenever you are talking about others, quote unquote others, that is not actually others. We all, we quote unquote remember, हम लोग ये बातें और दूसरे लोगों के साथ दूसरे लोग नहीं है, सब एक ही है. If we considered the concept of we, rather others, that is the emerging point of discussions about human rights from a very bottom of heart. Free speech has come under with the attack. कहीं ना कहीं हम सोच में पड़ जाते हैं कि कहाँ से बातें शुरू करें, ह्यूमन राइट्स की या फिर मानवाधिकार की बातें कहाँ से शुरू करें, इसके उद्भव कहाँ से हो. तो इसके उद्भव करने के लिए अलग कोई प्रेशराइजेशंस बाहर से देने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. कहीं ना कहीं अब अपने अंदर से इस बात को लेकर, जैसे हम अपने फैमिली वालों के साथ शेयर करते हैं छोटी बड़ी बातें, तो वहां से ही शुरू हो सकते हैं. हिंदू मुस्लिम्स डायलॉग हो, मुस्लिम क्रिश्चियंस डायलॉग हो, हिंदू क्रिश्चियंस डायलॉग हो, कहीं पर भी माइनॉरिटी मेजॉरिटी इसको अलग रखते हुए हम अगर दोस्त के नाते, हम अगर एज ए फ्रेंड बातें शुरू करते हैं, डायलॉग शेयरिंग्स करते हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं विद द majority issues can be resolved with this freedom of speech in a true sense. The government is yet to repeal laws that grant public officials and security forces immunity from the persecutions for the abuses. Now we are going to discuss about a very important topic, that is the sub-theme of the Indian human rights circumstances, and that is the concept of dharma. Whenever we are talking about the minority majority, religion, religious minority, ethnic minorities, ये सब शुरू होने से पहले with the very early stage in Hinduism as well as with the country's creations in the Indian scenario, it is very important to know about the dharma, the concept of religion. Dharma is a key concept with multiple meanings in Indian religions like Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, and others. There is no single word to translations for dharma in Western languages. In Hinduism, particularly, for if we are consistent with the concept of dharma, that how we are relate the dharma with the evolutions of religion, or it is actually the concept of culture that we are bearing from our early child days. It signifies the behaviors that are considered to be the accord with Reeth, that is the cultural evolutions from the early days. The order that makes life and universe with a possible and includes the duties, rights, laws, conduct, virtues, and right way of living. It is nothing but how you would like to enhance yourself, motivate yourself, and your great postures that lead to a very great life afterwards. It is nothing but a way of good living, livelihood, and your upbringing, your virtues, your good ethical norms, regulations, and value-based training from an early childhood that has been actually inherent from your parents, from your society, from your family. So this is your gathering process that actually been entered into you from a very early days, with some postures, with some practices, with some respectful attitudes, behaviors from your early childhood period. And it is started in your family, not in the schools, not in the society, later stage, when you entered into the schools, entered into the social era, you can actually enhance whatever you earn from your parents, from your family, from your life. So you just nurture yourself with the good virtues, with the good behavior, with the good attitudes, and respect to others. Here I'm using the word others intentionally because हम लोग जब भी दूसरे की बात करते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं others ये बातें आ जाते हैं. तो others हम क्यों सोचे? If we considered as we all, without any kind of religious barriers, without any kind of language barriers, without any kind of cultural barriers, actually we all are human beings. We all are equals. We all have two eyes, one nose, 2 ears, one throat, yeah, 2 hands, 2 legs. Even if we don't have, they are the differently abled people. So somehow, one main thing that we have all common, that is our heart, that is our mind, and we can able to control over our minds. So in Hinduism, that is good duties, good conduct, virtues, and right way of living. That means dharma. And in Buddhism, dharma means the cosmic law and order, and also applied to the teachings of Lord Buddha. बुद्धिज्म में क्या है? ये दर्शन शास्त्र के अनुसार with the philosophical aspects and dharma is also the term of phenomena. घटना परंपरा की ये एक ऐसी श्रृंखलाबद्ध श्रेणी भी है बुद्धिज्म के हिसाब से कि आप जैसे कर्म करते जाते हो वो कॉस्मिक रूल्स बन जाते हैं कि आपने कर्म के हिसाब से ये जीवन को आगे बढ़ाता हुआ एक श्रृंखला बनते हैं. और with this, in the dharma in Jainism refers to the teachings of Tirthankara or Jina and the body of doctrines that pertaining the purifications, the moral transformations of your life. of किस प्रकार से अपने जीवन को सुधारते हुए जीवन को और भी बेहतर बनाने की कोशिश पर लगातार जारी रखें तथा किस प्रकार से जिंदगी को और प्यूरिफिकेशंस में बरकरार रखते हुए और भी आगे बढ़ाए. तो that is the main concept of dharma according to Jainism, even in Islam also. If we are talking about Islam, in Quran it is written that whatever we would like to do, we must follow in our own self. And in this way, with these purifications of mind and body, we can reach to the God ultimately. Even in Christianity, in Bible also it's written that don't think about the sin even. गलत सोच के हिसाब से भी, गलत विचार से भी आपकी जिंदगी में गलत प्रभाव आ सकते हैं. तो even each and every scriptures, holy scriptures, अगर holy scriptures की बातें करें, गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब की बातें करें, तो सिखिज्म में भी सभी ग्रंथ में एक ही बातें लिखी होती है कि आप अपनी जिंदगी को, आप अपने लाइफ को किस प्रकार से आगे बढ़ाएंगे. तो अगर हम अलग अलग किताब, अलग अलग विषय, अलग अलग धर्म की सोच विचार करें तो कहीं ना कहीं वो ह्यूमन वैल्यूज, ह्यूमन राइट्स, ह्यूमन ड्यूटीज की बातें ही हमें सिखाते हैं. Even in India also, it is been inherent. Vasudeva Kutumbakam and Atithi Devo Bhava. So with this cultures, with this accumulative circumstances from a very previous era, अतीत काल में अगर हम देखें पुराने जमाने में भी किस प्रकार से एक दूसरे के साथ जुड़ते हुए समाज में हम आगे बढ़ते थे, तो आज क्या हो गया, किस वजह से हम लड़ रहे हैं? Why this kind of war-like conditions even within ourselves, within the community, within the not even inter-community, within the intra-community, we have lots of problems. Why? Have you ever asked the questions to you? आप लोगों ने कभी अपने आप को ये सवाल किया है कि आपके अंदर की सोच ही किस प्रकार से कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में बटा हुआ है, किस प्रकार से आप अपने अंदर कहीं ना कहीं द्वंद में पड़े हुए हैं कि हम ये करें या वो करें, ये करें या वो करें। नहीं, हम सभी एक है, irrespective of our sex, irrespective of our color of our body, irrespective of our religion, irrespective of our cultural background, economical background, we all are equal. Not even under the law, under the eyes of God, even. If we are talking about, if we actually believe with the existence of God and supreme power, God created all in equal formations. Dharma is a concept of central importance in Indian philosophy and religion, of course. धर्म के हिसाब से भी धर्मा की जो कॉन्सेप्चुअल पैरामीटर्स है वो कहीं ना कहीं हमें अलग अलग धर्म के हिसाब से कहीं ना कहीं एक ही पथ में हमें एक ही डायरेक्शंस में पहुंचाते हैं, और उसकी जो गोल है, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स है, वो कहीं ना कहीं सेम है, इक्वल है. इट हैज अ मल्टीपल मीनिंग्स इन हिंदुइज्म, बुद्धिज्म, जैनिज्म. It is difficult to provide a single concise definition of what dharma, as the word has a long and varied history and with a standard of the complex and set of meaning and interpretations. There is no equivalent single word or synonym for dharma in Western languages as well. हम अगर पाश्चात्य शिक्षा प्रणाली की बातें करें तो कहीं ना कहीं आज हम अगर देखें तो वेस्टर्न civilizations are also following the Eastern civilizations, Indian cultures, Indian practices of dharma, Indian ceramic and conceptual mechanism of dharma even today's, with the practicing of yoga and other forms of mindful practice to control over this conflict situations, conflict management. Even the Western society is also following the Eastern civilization's concept of dharma and culture. The meaning of the word dharma depends on the context. ये विषय के हिसाब से एक ऐसी पद्धति को हमारे सामने प्रस्तुत करते हैं with the human values and human behavioral approaches that has been considered necessarily for the order of the things in the universe, with the principles that prevent the chaos, behaviors and actions necessarily to the nature of life, society, family, as well as at the individual level. Dharma encompasses the ideas such as duty, rights, with a character, vocations, religion, customs, and all behaviors considered and appropriate with a correct and morally upright. Even in Hinduism, it has been developed with the idea of its dharma meant cosmic law. So it is a very, very important topic while we are talking about the human rights and human value-based education system, that we need to know the concept of dharma with the later Vedic and the ritualistic parameters with the Hinduism concept, and with the later Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, and the great epics, that meaning became refined, richer, and more complex. दिन प्रतिदिन अगर हम धर्मा की बातें करते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं वो कॉम्प्लेक्स होते जा रहे हैं, और हम एक दूसरे के साथ धर्म के बारे में बातें करना बंद कर देते हैं, क्योंकि धर्मा और धर्म को हम एक समान सोचने पर अपने आप को विचार करने पर मजबूर कर देते हैं. बट धर्मा एंड धर्म अलग है. धर्मा मीन्स व्हाट वी आर डूइंग, इज दैट राइट वे or the wrong way. So the word is applied with a diverse concept and context. The evolving literature of Hinduism linked with dharma and with the two other important concepts that is Rita and Maya. Rita in Vedas is a truth and cosmic principles which regulates and coordinates the operations of universe and everything within it. Maya is Rig Veda and later literature with the means illusion, Freud's deception, magic that misleads and creates disorders. Thus, in the contrary to reality, laws and rules that establish order with a harmony, Paul Hoche suggested that Rita and Dharma are parallel concepts, the former being the cosmic principles and later being the moral social spheres. किस प्रकार से रीत एंड धर्मा एक पैरेलल कॉन्सेप्ट बनी हुई है और इसके साथ जुड़ते हैं सामाजिक विन्यास तथा सामाजिक प्रस्तुति, समाज की चेष्टा पर, समाज की स्थिति में किस प्रकार से माया एंड धर्मा are also the analogous concepts. The former being that which corrupts the law and moral life, and later being that which strengthens law and moral life. Day with the proposed dharma is the manifestations of Rita, but suggests Rita may have submerged with the concept, with a more complex concept of dharma. As the idea developed in ancient India over time in a non-linear manner. Dharma is the organizing principle in Hinduism that applies to human beings in solitude, in their interactions with human beings and nature. प्रकृति के साथ तथा मनुष्य एक दूसरे के साथ किस प्रकार से संपर्क तथा संबंध को जुड़े रहने से ही धर्म की आगे बढ़ने की जो चेष्टा है वो हम अंतता के स्वरूप में प्राप्त कर सकते हैं with the intimate objects and all cosmics and its parts. इसके अंश को अपने अंदर समाते हुए इसके अंश को आगे बढ़ाने की कोशिश पर किस प्रकार से एक कॉस्मिक चैंट्स तथा लॉ हमें प्रायोगिक रूप को प्राप्ति की ओर ले जाते हैं with the governance and rituals and the societal ethical value and norms that Hindu dharma includes. The religious duties, moral rights and duties of each individual as well as with the behaviors that enable social order, right conduct and those that are virtuous. अपने गुणवत्ता के हिसाब से तथा सामाजिक न्याय को आगे की ओर ले जाने में प्रस्तुत करने में तथा सहायक स्वरूप बनने में भी कोशिश तथा लगातार इसको जारी रखने में सहायक स्वरूप बनते हैं तथा सामाजिक स्थिति को बरकरार रखने की कोशिश पर भी यह धर्म की जो स्थिति है वो हम आलोचना कर सकते हैं. According to the Hindu religion, with a philosophy that claims with a major emphasis on individual practical morality in Sanskrit epics and the concern with the omnipresent. In the second book of Ramayana, for example, with a peasant asked king to do what dharma morally requires to him. The king agrees and does so. Even the compliance with the law of dharma cost him dearly. Similarly, with the dharma in the entire of the mature life in the event of Rama, Sita and Lakshmana in Ramayana, that claim with the episode of entire Ramayana in a very moral-based education system. But that was relevant that time. Whenever we are talking about and give the reference of Ramayana and Mahabharata in recent days, we need to know about the recent parameters, recent trend changes in the mechanism, in the concept. वर्तमान काल में अगर हम रामायण और महाभारत की एक उदाहरण स्वरूप को सामने लाने की कोशिश करेंगे तो वो कहीं ना कहीं अचूक नहीं होंगे, चूक जाएंगे हम, क्योंकि वर्तमान काल की परिस्थिति के साथ रामायण महाभारत को जुड़ने से पहले वर्तमान काल की परिस्थिति को विचार विश्लेषण करना भी एक महत्तम जरूरी कार्य भी है। और इसी के साथ जुड़ते हैं एपिक एंड वैल्यू बेस्ड मॉडल एजुकेशंस। Now we are going to shift a little bit and we now going to discuss more about the recent trend changes in the freedom and the struggle movement in Indian context. So shifted from dharma and other, now we are talking about the social movement and how far it is related with Indian circumstances and the human rights values. So, yeah, students, I have one question that what do you know about the Indian independence movement? Yes, Indian independent movement is the largest and world famous scenario when it was under British rule. So in a historical fact, it is very clear that the social movement is a type of group action. हम अकेले कुछ नहीं कर सकते, पर हम क्या कर सकते हैं? हम अकेले दूसरे को मोटिवेट कर सकते हैं, दो मिलकर 4 जन को मोटिवेट कर सकते हैं, 4 जन मिलकर 40 जन को मोटिवेट कर सकते हैं। तो इससे क्या होता है? एक ग्रुप एक्टिविज्म बनते हैं और वो एक्टिव ग्रुप दूसरे एक्टिव ग्रुप के साथ अपने ऑब्जेक्टिव्स को मिलाते हुए एक विशालतम, इट्स अ वास्ट ग्रुप बन जाते हैं। तो कहीं ना कहीं वो ग्रुप एक्शन इज कॉल्ड द मोबिलाइजेशन ऑफ सोशल movement. Social movements can be defined as organizational structures and strategy with empowerment that oppressed the populations to mount effective challenges and resist with a more powerful and advantaged elites. They are large, sometimes informal groupings of individuals or organizations which focus on the specific political, social issues. In other words, they carry out, resist, or undo a social change. They provide a way of social change from the bottom within nations. In Indian independence movement was a series of activities whose ultimate aim was to end the British Raj and encompassed with activities and ideas aiming to end East India Company rule starting from 1757 to 1857 and the British Raj, which has been started from the Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai's ending era, that is 1857, and it was till 1947 in the Indian subcontinent. The movement spanned a total of 90 years, considering the movement against British Indian Empire. The Indian independence movement includes both protest with a peaceful and non-violent, militant with a violations mechanism to root out British administrator from India. The first organized militant movements were in Bengal, but they later took root in the newly formed Indian National Congress, with a prominent moderate leaders seeking only their basic rights to appear for Indian civil service, British India examinations, as well as more rights in economic in nature, that is for the people of the soil. The early part of the 20th century saw a more radical approach towards the political self-rule proposed by leaders such as Lal Balpal, Lal Bahadur, that is Aurobindo Ghosh, Chidambaram Pillai, and others. Then the first stage self-rule struggle from 1920s onwards saw Congress adopt Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi policy with a non-violence and civil disobedience movement with a several campaigns, nationalists like Subhash Chandra Bose, Bhagat Singh, Bhagat Jatin, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. They preached armed revolutions to achieve self-rules. Poets, writers such as Rabindranath Tagore, Muhammad Iqbal, Josh Mitabai, Muhammad Ali Jawhar, Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, and Qazi Nazrul Islam used literature, poetry, and speech as a tool for political awareness and human rights based approach. In the terms of literature, with a widespread British Raj and the colonized era in Indian subcontinent. Even feminists like Sarojini Naidu, Begum Rokeya Sakhawat promoted the emancipation of Indian women and their participation in the national politics. Actually, they urged for the participations wholeheartedly by the women. Without the women participation is what it was not been able to achieve in a fully fledged independence in such a way they actually understood very clearly human rights under Indian constitutions. Even after the independence, the India was ready to accept the challenges of the human rights based issues. So thus B.R. Ambedkar was the creator and the drafting committee chairperson who was widely chief architect in the Constitution of India or Bharatiya Samvidhan that has been the supreme law of India. The document says down the framework with a democratic fundamental political code, structured procedures, powers and duties of government, institutions and set out the fundamental rights, directive principles and duties of citizens. It is the longest written constitutions of any country on the earth. According to the Constitution of India, six fundamental rights recognized by this, and these are mainly focused. Number one, right to equality. Number two, cultural and educational right. Number three, right to freedom. Number four, right against exploitation. Number five, right to freedom of religion. And last but not least, right to constitutional remedies. So with this, the constitution is the world's largest written constitutions in the world. What are the statutory protection for human rights in India? If we are talking about human rights scenario, अगर कहीं ना कहीं हम बातें करते हैं तो इसके एक गवर्निंग बॉडी भी जरूरी है क्योंकि फोर्सफुली ह्यूमन राइट्स को अगर हम कहीं ना कहीं इम्प्लीमेंट करने की कोशिश करेंगे तो उसके लिए एक गवर्निंग बॉडी होना बहुत ही जरूरी है तो इसके लिए हमारे देश में मौजूदा हालात पर 1993 को नेशनल ह्यूमन राइट्स कमीशंस जो कि एनएचआरसी के नाम से भी नवाजा जाते हैं तो वो इंडिया की एक ऑटोनोमस पब्लिक बॉडी है जो कि कंस्टिट्यूट हुआ था 12 अक्टूबर 1993 में अंडर द प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स ऑर्डिनेंस ऑफ 28 सितंबर 1993. It was given a statutory basis by the Protection of Human Rights Act. And with the NHRC के साथ नेशनल ह्यूमन राइट्स कमीशंस एक रिस्पॉन्सिबल बॉडीज बनते हैं जो कि प्रमोशंस एंड प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स or of course with a defined act of rights relating to life, liberty, equality and dignity of individual granted by the constitutions or embodied in the international covenants. इसके साथ जुड़ते हुए विचार तथा विमर्श के साथ with a well recognized that human rights are essential for entire development of an individual's. Human rights are the rights of the individuals and recognized by the society and of course with the compulsions of the government's interventions. Governments की सहायता के बिना कहीं ना कहीं मानवाधिकार को संपूर्णता के साथ प्राप्त करना बहुत ही मुश्किल है. With the complements, human rights are intrinsic in the human nature and they completely essentials for living as human beings. Of course, with the human rights is the foundations of human life, self-respect and worth. Human rights can be elaborated as the conditions by which man can achieve self-freedom and with the make fullest development of him. Human rights create specific conditions to help an individual to develop his पर्सोना, पर्सनालिटी को डेवलप करने में भी ह्यूमन राइट्स हमें सहायक स्वरूप बनते हैं। कहीं ना कहीं अगर हम अपने सेल्फ डिटर्मिनेशन, सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस की बातें करें, तो अगर ह्यूमन राइट्स के साथ अगर हम अपने जिंदगी को आगे बढ़ाए, तो कहीं ना कहीं और बेहतर तरीके से हम जिंदगी जी सकते हैं। विद द ह्यूमन राइट्स आर मोर इंडिस्पेंसिबल फॉर ह्यूमन बीइंग। ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण तथा एक गुरुत्वपूर्ण एक अधिकार के स्वरूप भी स्वीकृति को देते हैं, इस प्रकार के साथ कि हम अपनी जिंदगी को बेहतर तरीके से शिक्षा के साथ, संपूर्णता के साथ प्राप्त कर सके। Now I would like to stop myself because it's your time, it's your turn to comment over it, to ask questions, whatever you feel, whatever you think about that India should have this human rights in further way. Do comment, ask any kind of questions. I'm ready to help you. I'm ready to answer you. Thank you so much for watching this.